An opportunity for a service business exists when a customer has a problem that he or she cannot solve for him or herself. For example, not many of us know how to fix plumbing or fix electricity or a hole in the roof. So you get somebody in and they come and do it for you. And generally speaking, it has to do with problems. So a lot of service businesses have got to do with solving problems. Meanwhile, trading businesses are just moving a product. And that's why a service business is slightly more difficult to run than a trading business, because ultimately you need some kind of level of skill in order to do it properly. So an opportunity exists when the customer has a problem that they cannot solve for themselves. The second is where a customer has a need or want that they can actually take care of themselves, but for a number of reasons choose not to, such as mending clothing.
Like the laundry, for example.
Exactly, Kaya's laundry, which I will use later on. Fixing a car, looking after children. Okay, fixing a car might be a little bit technical, especially the cars of today. But looking after children, yes, there's a certain amount of skill that you need, but it's not a huge amount. Mending clothing. I mean, ultimately speaking, we could all take a needle and thread and put a patch on clothing. The problem is, for some of us who are not skilled in that way, it might not look like much, but you can still do it. Then you get those that you do not want to do, such as washing and ironing, cleaning a house, washing a car. A little bit earlier on that his wife was going to the car wash. Now, does that mean that she cannot clean the car?
Yes.
Highly unlikely, probably can, but she just doesn't want to. She can use her time more effectively and efficiently doing something else. And that's generally why people go to a car wash, which for me is kind of like a little bit of a, I don't get this, because you're going down to a place to save yourself some time, but you spend the same amount of time as if you'd wash the car yourself, and what's more, you give away money. To me, it just doesn't make sense. But having said that, that's the way that some people do it. Maybe they can catch up on reading or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, where you'd rather pay somebody else to do it, such as bookkeeping. Now, bookkeeping is not difficult. A 9-year-old can do bookkeeping.
Seriously.
Seriously. If they know how to add and subtract, they can do bookkeeping. Okay. It's not difficult. It's just a pain. Cooking.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately speaking, we can all cook. Whether it tastes like something or not is debatable. But to take a carrot, chop it up, put it in boiling water for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, what sort of skill level do you need for that?
See, that's
0.
To have
well, I'm not talking necessarily about how it tastes, Mlangisi. That is where the skill comes in. But in theory, we can all make ourselves a meal that would keep our bodies going. Might not taste like much. Okay. Typing. I mean, if you know how to use a laptop or let's rather leave it at a laptop, and then instead a typewriter. Most people wouldn't know what a typewriter is. Gone with those days. You can type. It's not a big thing. If you see the Y, the E, and the S, and you just hit them, guess what's going to be spelled? Yes. It's not difficult. But we choose not to do it because we can utilize our time doing something else. Okay. So those are the ranges, ranging from can't do it, need to get a professional, to can do it, just choose not to. And then, of course, where competition is low, and here's the thing. If you had to draw a graph or if you had to do this type of a graph, and by the way, you'll see that I do a lot of graphs, where you had to, a bar graph, and you had to graph what it looks like. So you'd probably get this one here would be the trading business, a lot of them. Service businesses would be something like that, and manufacturing businesses would be that in any community. Way many trading businesses than service businesses and manufacturing businesses. Okay, so that's more or less what it would look like. And of course, what's very much defining as to whether your activity, and you have the skills presumably, can be turned into a business is where there are enough people that are willing and able to pay for the services.